first of all, they need to know what they're doing. I mean, they don't cup coffee. It's not only in the world. In Brazil, they don't cup coffee. They have to start cupping their own coffee, right? It's something that happens all over. In Brazil, it does as well. As soon as the producer starts realizing what cupping is and what quality is and what they have in their hands, they can make better decisions only if they have whom to sell their coffee in a good price. So it's really, because in addition to all they have to do to get those flavors, and it's not, in my opinion, hard to get those flavors. It's just the market and the commercial difficulties. They're actually stopping producers from doing it. It's a construction. It's commodity. People here are really exploited. I mean, producers are really exploited by the market, by the sea market, by the traders, by the, by the cooperatives.
Oh, I got chills when you said that.
It is.
Wow.
It is. The cooperatives, they should help the producers, right?
That's the point of them.
But unfortunately, for most of them, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, the big ones, they are not helping producers to get more money. On the contrary.
If you're starting or growing your business in these volatile times in coffee and you need a little extra support, our scope of business advisory services may be just what you need. Join one of our hugely successful mastermind groups for support in a group setting, or send us an email to discuss our one-on-one consulting and business advisory services, where we'll work with you one-on-one to solve specific problems in your coffee business. All our services come with a 100% money-back guarantee, so send us an email at support@mapperforward.org and let us know how we can help you today. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 1 of a brand new 5-part series. We have Isabela Raposeiras from Coffee Lab in Brazil joining us. Isabela, welcome to the podcast for the first time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor.
And the honor is mine. And we also have to thank, yet again, Felipe Croce for introducing. I feel like he's like the booking agent for the show at this point. He's the person who seems to have booked most of the guests for this year. There is no financial arrangement or anything like that between Felipe and I, folks. But it's just that he seems to know all the cool people in coffee. And Isabela, you and I had a conversation recently for the first time, and clearly we are coffee kindred spirits. I'm really excited to talk to you on this podcast about understanding Brazil as an origin country. I think this happened because you have been seeing a couple of conversations on the podcast about Brazil, and there's some gaps that you feel that need to be filled in, right?
Right. Yes, because I'm an audience. I like the podcast. I follow you in Instagram, and then I saw some interviews that said people still don't know what Brazil is. I mean, completely.
Right. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode, like what people are getting wrong about Brazil as an origin country. And I had a brief conversation with you. I mean, it was more than brief. We had a preliminary conversation, and it really did open my eyes to some things that I didn't know about Brazil. And the one takeaway that I had from the conversation that we had, the preliminary conversation, was I think people think that Brazil is the number one coffee producing country and that all coffee producers are rich. I think that's what people think of Brazil, right? And from the conversations that I've had on the podcast, I'm coming to realize that maybe that's not the whole story. But particularly with my conversation with you in the preliminary conversation, I started to realize, like, wait. We need to take a deep dive on this. So I really appreciate you being here so that you can help us as an industry start to get more informed, maybe not that we don't end up leaving here with the whole picture of what Brazil is. But what I do want to invite people to do is to consider that they need to start asking some different questions about Brazil. 2025 is already getting people to think about the coffee that comes out of Brazil in a different way, right? Now, I think that that's a great thing because it's giving people the opportunity to ask, well, am I looking at Brazil as just the place I get coffee for my blenders? Now they have to look at Brazil as a real like origin country, not just a place that's got its fill of coffee. And that excites me, right? So let's start this conversation by getting people familiar with who you are and what you do, because that unto itself will blow people's fucking minds.
So I started working with coffee in 2000. It's been 25 years now.
Wow.
And yes, nobody actually, at that time, nobody chose to work with specialty coffee because nobody knew what that was in Brazil, besides some small producers that were already doing quality and trying to sell coffee better around the world. But here, nobody knew what that was. Nobody knew what barista was. And
Wow.
so, yes, nobody said that word. And our day-to-day coffee is very, very, very bad. It's really low quality, technically wise. And so coffee is just coffee. It's been for centuries, right? Then in 2000, there was this 4 specialty coffee roasters in Brazil, only 4.
Oh. Wow.
4. Most of them exported their coffees. Most of them didn't even know they had quality coffee, right? It got mixed and it was exported commodity, like a commodity. And then in 2000, I had huge financial problems, weird, serious ones. And then I got into coffee just by chance because I needed money. And then I encountered somehow Ipanema coffees, and then I started working for them in Brazil. Would be the first specialty coffee coffee shop, specialty coffee shop. And then that's how I knew coffee. That's how I tasted coffee, and that's how I began to be interested in the product. I love tasting things. I have a powerful nose, and I've always liked tasting. I smoke cigars. As long as I work with coffee, I mean, almost before a little bit. I love gastronomy. I love wine. And then coffee really blew my mind because it is mind blowing, right? Compounds wise. And then I started studying it. And then I won the first barista championship.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Yes, I won the first barista championship in Brazil. Yes. And then my life changed.
Really?
Yes, because I was studying to be a psychologist. And then I am a psychologist. And then I needed money to go on paying for my tuition. That's how I got into coffee, because I needed money. And then when I won the first barista championship, the whole media got so interested in specialty coffee and barista and all of this.
Wow.
And then I went to all Brazilian shows and my life changed.
Wow. Okay. I'm fascinated by that.
And then some years, like a year and a half after that, I opened my school because I love teaching. And then we finally, in 2004, officially we opened school.
Wow. And when you opened it, you called it Coffee Lab.
Not at that time, but in 2009, when I decided to really study deeply roasting, and then I imported a roaster, and then my school, I wanted to be a roasting lab as well, because I was not satisfied on how people were roasting specialty coffee by then. It was too artisanal. And I think roasting has to be a little more precise, not to say a lot more. And then I decided to study roasting more, and especially because I knew there was more. We had more interesting coffees in Brazil that weren't being roasted.
Mm.
They were just getting lost in translation, getting lost in blends and being exported as commodities. And in 2003, I had cooked an amazing coffee that I had never forgot. When I opened Coffee Lab as a roastery, I just went for it. I just wanted to have that coffee. And then that was a mission, sort of study roasting
Hmm.
deeply and to try and find small producers that could give us different profiles. And that's how Coffee Lab itself started in 2009. Yes. And so we
And
became a coffee shop just by chance as well.
so now today, what does the business consist of? The school, the roastery, and the cafe?
Yes, exactly. That's it. We have now 2 locations, coffee
Oh,
shops,
wow.
and the roastery and the school. And we've been teaching about 2,000 people a year.
Wow.
Yes, it's big.
Well, okay. And so what do you teach? Are you an SCA certified place, or are you
I'm a
teaching your
2 grader,
program? Right?
but no, I don't know. I don't I don't think their program is um it's too expensive for Brazil because of
Hmm.
our currency. And I don't think the program itself is as strong as I'd like it to be.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of people saying that right now.
I never felt the need or impelled to teach essay programs. So our program
Right.
is a little deeper or a lot deeper. It depends on what level. I'm sorry.
Don't be so. I'm the last person you have to be sorry to that about. I know. Anyway,
I, I'm too
moving
strict
along.
on I'm too strict on knowledge and education, so I think we can do better. I mean, that's why I don't. I think it's too shallow, and for Brazilians, it's too expensive. That's why I don't see why. And we're
Mm.
so we teach barista classes and home brewing classes for people who love coffee and roasting and managing coffee shops. People who wants to open coffee shops. We have this um how can I translate that? We have consulting and therapies, but
Oh,
it yes, it's like corporate therapy
like
for
executive
people.
coaching sort of thing?
Yes, exactly. Because
Okay.
people really they make mistakes opening coffee shops. They have this
Uh-huh.
idea that it's so simple and they're gonna uh, uh, change careers and be happy for the rest of their lives opening coffee shops.
Yeah, yeah. That's, you
And
do
we have to
exactly
tell
what
them
I
then,
do. We have the same job.
right? Let them know that I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's now it goes. Okay.
Right. It's not you, it's coffee. It's just the way that coffee treats everyone. Um, that's fascinating because what I hear you saying is that you've been in the industry for 25 years. You've seen a lot happen in that time. You've seen coffee change in that time, but you've seen coffee in Brazil change in that time.
I'm sort
So,
of this. How do you say that when you were a testimony? You are. I'm in menopause. Sorry, words they
so am
just
I. So it's fine. The words
they
just disappear. And
they
we as an
completely.
industry need to talk more about that. Anyway,
Yeah,
so you've traversed the whole thing. Like you've witnessed the entire
witnessed
evolution. You've witnessed
right.
the evolution of the industry. And I guess that's why Felipe was saying that it would be good to have you come on the podcast, because you're not representing any association or anything like that from Brazil. You're a long-time stakeholder in the industry and a pioneer in the industry, and you get to talk to us as somebody who interacts with producers. You have some fascinating stories of that, but also as somebody who's been helping to build out the consuming end of the market in Brazil. Folks, to remind you, Brazil is the second largest consumer of coffee in the world. And some interesting numbers came out this week. Brazil's consumption has gone down 15.9% year on year. And it is expected down 15.9%. And it is expected that America will go down as well. So there are associations out there and groups out there that are talking about how no, consumption's going up. But what they usually do when they release those numbers is that they go and survey like 1,000 people. And they use that sample size to make the numbers look like what they need to. If the first 1,000 people don't say the thing that they think that they need to say, they go and find another 1,000 until they find the right group of people that give them the narrative that they want. And so what they do is they find people that say consumption's going up, and then they put their reports out. So this group that put this report out in Brazil is a government organization. I can't remember the name of them, or they're a non-profit, but they're not a marketing company. So this is why, and interestingly enough, Felipe and I, previous to that, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, like the day before that report came out, he was like, you know what, I think that consumption in Brazil has gone down 15%. And I think that we're going to realize that too late. And sure enough, the day after he said that, like he's so sharp about what's going on in the industry, the day after that, it was released 15.9% consumption has gone down in Brazil. And that's really important for us to understand, because the industry is booming, yield is down, we have no idea what's going to happen in the next year. And while everything's changing, you're one of the people who has been there for 25 years, watching it change and being a part of the change. So when you hear what people think about Brazil and what they talk about Brazil, what is it that they always get wrong about Brazil as a coffee producing country and consuming country?
Let me just ask you something. You said second producer in the world?
Second largest consuming.
Okay. Yeah,
the number one producer, second largest
yes.
consumer. I'm sorry if I misspoke.
I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood. Yes. It depends about this research. It depends on how they look at the research. If you see commodity consumption, it's obviously going down because the prices rose. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be down for a while because the prices have been rising. It wasn't just like, oh, all of a sudden coffee is expensive. No, it's been happening for years now. So consumption tends to go down, but specialty coffee consumption tends to go up. Okay. We don't have these exact numbers, not yet.
Right.
But they tend to go. We can see that roasters, my own numbers, others' numbers, they're going up. I mean,
it's okay. The CVA is going to capture it. Right. I'm an asshole. It's fine. Go on.
I'm so happy not to be the only asshole in the room.
Anyway, go ahead.
But what people really should, what amazes me and has been amazing me for years now is that, of course, I understand why people look at Brazil and think that we are big, rich producers. Mm-hmm. Because that's who are in shows around the world. And we do have them. I mean, we do. It's more than 300,000 producers in Brazil, more than. And most of them, like more than 250,000 are small and family producers. So it's a
Right.
lot. So they're
Right.
tiny. And they're,
So the big ones are the minority. The
oh yeah,
majority, the
oh yeah.
vast majority are smaller smallholder farmers that do they have employees?
Some of them don't. For example, most of the producers that I have, they don't. It's the family thing. The family
Right.
take the family do the whole thing because it's too expensive to hire and they don't have that
Mm-hmm.
money. Now they're able to, depends on for whom they sell. But most of them, these small tiny ones, they can't because
Right.
and it's getting more expensive to hire people to pick and to help in the world, not only here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But yeah, some of the small producers, not tiny family producers, the small producers, they do have some people working for them and employed partly or the whole year long. And these costs are very expensive in Brazil. Very expensive. The labor cost in Brazil is very expensive. And it's not because we pay good salaries. It's because we have to pay more than 50% of what we pay to the employer, we have to pay for the government.
So 50% of their salary or 50% on top of their salary?
On top of
Wow.
sort of, yes, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but it's around
So it's like an employment
50%.
tax.
Yeah, right. So it's really expensive. And the specialty coffee, the high quality coffee producers, they are more careful and they tend to pay better and to follow the rules a little better than commodity coffees and commodity
Okay.
producers. So it's more expensive for them.
Mm. What else do people get wrong about Brazil?
About taste. But that I
Oh,
understand. I understand. I
yeah.
totally understand.
Vinny said
Yes.
this a lot when he came on the podcast. Brazil is not just caramel, chocolate, and nuts.
No, not at all. But I don't understand why we built that over the years and
Yeah.
centuries ago. It's easy if you blend coffee. I mean, um, you're gonna you're gonna bring the whole thing down, right? It's gonna taste like whatever, nuts and chocolate, which is easier to producing roasting, right? These
Yeah.
are the easy compounds, right? And we are that, but we are a lot more. But the producers don't know, and the cookers in Brazil, they had to be educated into perceiving other things in Brazil as well. So we are building this up. It's a construction, even here. So how can we expect the roasters abroad to all of a sudden look at our coffee and say, "Whoa, eureka!" It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Especially
And
if
people,
people inside the country are not doing that.
right? So it's an education here first, so we can actually talk to people all around in a more precise way. Um, I don't think. I mean, sometimes um, that there are some amazing coffees in Brazil that even Tim Wendables, he once told me that I showed him coffees that really had like a African style. I mean,
Right.
they taste a little bit like African coffees or Kenyans or Ethiopians. We have
Mm-hmm.
it all. that,
Yeah.
because it's not expected Brazilian coffees to taste like that, right? And we still and producers in Brazil, they're learning how to manage the crop and the coffee the post harvest processing and all the stuff they have to do in a way that we actually get those flavors.
Mm.
And it's not hard for some regions to get those flavors. I have one of my favorite regions in Brazil. It's so easy to get them there. But the
Right.
producers, they need, first of all, they need to know what they're doing. I mean, they don't cup coffee. It's not only in the world, in Brazil, they don't cup coffee. They have to start cupping their own coffee, right? It's something that happens all over. In Brazil, it does as well. As soon as the producer starts realizing what cupping is and what quality is and what they have in their hands, they can make better decisions
Mm.
only if they have home to sell their coffee in a good price. So it's really because in addition to all they have to do to get those flavors, and it's not, in my opinion, hard to get those flavors. It's just the market and the commercial um, difficulties. They're actually stopping producers from doing it. It's a construction. It's commodity. People here are really exploited. I mean, producers are really exploited by the market, by the sea market, by the traders, by the, oh my God, by the cooperatives.
Oh, I got chills when you said that.
It is.
Wow.
It is. I mean, the cooperatives, they should help the producers, right?
That's the
But
point of them.
But unfortunately, for most of them, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, the big ones, they are not helping producers to get more money. On the contrary. So what? And I'm not afraid of saying this because I've been threatened already twice in my life
You and I both, sister. You and I both.
for paying high prices in some regions that they weren't used to having this price, like 4 times, 5 times sea market. So I just got in their way a little bit. But the producers, they're not being helped by their own cooperatives. So they're exploited and they're not making ends meet. I mean, the costs they have, they're not being covered by the prices they're getting by the cooperatives.
You know
And
what? I want you to actually tell that story. Do you mind telling that story in the next episode?
Sure.
Okay. Folks, this is a story that when Isabela told it to me, I kind of didn't quite believe that this goes on anywhere, let alone in Brazil. So join us for the next episode. Our focus in the next episode is going to be Brazil's internal specialty coffee market. And Isabela was one of the first people buying specialty coffee. And this story will blow your mind. So join us for that. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.